What's up, everybody? How you doing? Welcome back to the Punk Rock Review Podcast. Man, I'm hanging out with the homie Nitty, and we got a good show tonight, man. We're going to talk about two really great records that I would say both sort of fall under the hardcore umbrella, but I got a lot of comments about both. But they're also both punk rock records, man. We got Poison Idea, was it Feel the Darkness? And then we've got Bad Religion, Against the Grain. Both of these are hitting 45 years this year, right? No, 35. 1990, right?
1990. Yep.
I just bowled 6 games and I'm really tired, folks. My apologies for the math snafu, but
How'd you do? Did you bowl well?
I bowled okay.
Yeah.
I bowled okay. I averaged like 115. I'm not like a really great bowler, but I do okay.
Not terrible.
There was one game where my 10-year-old daughter was beating me, and at the very last frame, I hit 3 strikes in a row and was like, kiss my ass.
Damn.
Yeah, bro. Dude, last week, because this is only my second time bowling in like probably 7 or 8 years, right? And so the first time we went, I had on our second game, I hit strike, spare, all in 6 frames. It was crazy. I've never done nothing like that, bro. It was bananas, dude. We were freaking out and yelling in the place. And they like us up there because it's like a dad and his little girl hanging out. And they're always like, oh, they're so cute.
That's cute.
All right, before we get started, everybody, two things. One, what's up, guys? So we just partnered up with Dead and Buried Inc. out of LA. So if you have a band or a small business, maybe an event coming up and you need merch, hit these dudes up. There's a link in the description. If you mention that you got there via the Punk Rock Review, you'll get 10% off of your first order. But it's super high quality screen printing, embroidery. They do shirts, hats, hoodies, skateboards, bags, whatever you want printed, they can handle it, all right? They're also a small business, and they're part of the punk rock community. They're my friends. So this is a partnership that's very important to me. If you need merch, hit these dudes up. Check them out. You won't be disappointed, all right? Back to the video. You probably just watched a little ad for Dead and Buried Inc. They're the homies, dude. We got a partnership going. Shirts are in. We got them. Boom. They're freaking gorgeous, dude. So
sick logo.
If you want one, there is a website link in the description now. It is 31records.bigcartel.com. You can get that, and I'm starting to slowly load up like, tapes and LPs and stuff. So it'll be a website for my store, and I'll probably put Punk Rock Review stuff on there. And then second, we did it, folks. We did it. We got Punk Rock Bowling press credentials. No, dude, we're like 20 people away from 10K. That'll happen sometime this weekend. We'll probably celebrate it on Sunday. But dude, stuff is like really rocking and rolling right now. So I just want to stop and say thank you to everybody that watches this video, everybody that watches that's been here for 2 years, everybody that just got here, everybody that drops a don't know, everybody that gives me a thumbs down. I don't care, man. If you're here and you're doing something, thank you, because it means a lot to me.
Hating is still appreciating on the channel. You know what I'm saying?
Right. The worst thing in the whole world would be like to have like no feelings towards me. Like I would rather you just hate my guts. But
I don't feel
like that Lower Class Brats album, Better Hated Than Ignored.
That's real.
Yeah, I'm gonna have Bones on the show on Monday too. So actually, by the time you guys have seen this video, it'll probably be about time for me to have him on. And so we got a lot of stuff happening. Check it out. They emailed me from Punk Rock Bowling, and they were like, "Hey, give us a list of bands you'd like to interview, and we'll see what we can make happen." And I was like, I was like, we'll see. And so I sent them a list. It was like Cockspar, Interrupters, Bouncing Souls, Cockney Rejects, Youth Brigade, Social Distortion, Laura Jane Grace. I was like, here, let's see what they say about this. And they were like, it's all the ones that I like, And they were like, cool, we'll get back to you. I was like, wow, they didn't just slam the door in my face. I was pretty surprised. But I was like, Cockspar, and then I put like in parentheses, I was like, of course, right? Like I was like, yeah, I mean,
I'm pretty sure these bands like set aside a certain amount of their time to talk to.
It's crazy because I was wondering, like, okay, are they gonna really think about this? And then it might have even been my wife. Somebody said, they were like, well, dude, like you're like literally like you're pressed now. And I was like, oh yeah, like I guess I do get like a certain amount of like at least consideration. Like maybe not like, well, at least like, who is it? Oh, let me check him out. Oh, he seems cool. I'll talk to him for a few minutes because it's not like, there's no obligation there.
Dude, if they talk to Aaron Mikola, they'll talk to you.
Depends on, I would say most of the people.
Worst interviewer I've ever seen fucking interview a band.
Dude, look.
No shade like at all. I mean, all the shade. But I'm just saying, in terms of like her interviews, I'm like, man, that was a wasted conversation.
I thought that a bunch of times. I really wish. I'm working on my interview skills too, and I have no qualms with the fact that I'm not like amazing at it yet, but I feel like I do okay. And I am genuinely excited. I'm genuinely interested, and I don't fake nothing. So there is that. There's some genuine stuff coming from me, but like, you know,
the thing is like you're used to like when you talk to artists on the channel, long form type of organic thing, you know?
Right. Well, that's the thing.
Like, hey, we only got a few minutes to like hammer all this shit out. Like, I gotta get what I need.
Yeah, I really hate like short stuff because I don't really know what to say. I'm like, hey, how are you? All right, see you later. But
yeah,
you know, it's
awkward.
It's pretty amazing what's going on, man. I'm really, really excited. I honestly I didn't really expect it. And then when I got the email today, it floored me, dude. I was like, what the fuck?
It's great.
Like, yeah, man. So if we can just get Punk Invasion like hammered out, because I was supposed to have press for that too. Like, what the fuck? At the beginning of the year, or like maybe like last quarter of 2024, I didn't think I was going to either of these because I didn't have the money to. So
and this is something to think about in the future. There's a lot of cool shit in Europe too. A lot of dope festivals, man.
Okay, so I'm not going to say names, but I've already been emailed by multiple European festivals that are like, "Look, you don't have to ask. As soon as you want to come over, let me know. You'll be impressed on this
They're
fest."
probably way cooler over there too, to be honest with you. Just about everything. You know,
I don't know because I'm not gonna bite the hand that's feeding me right now. I think I'm getting opportunities that a channel that's my size I wasn't sure even was going to get.
Definitely.
So like I am incredibly grateful for, because the only thing about Punk Rock Bowling is like I think maybe if I had known to ask them this earlier, I might have gotten it earlier and been able to avoid a bunch of the stresses that I had. So next year I will be applying earlier and talking to folks. But let's start talking about this. I just wanted to talk about it and celebrate it for a second because this is a big accomplishment to me. It's huge. And it's happening like right at the time where I hit 10K. So also my birthday is in like a week and a half. And then I get to go to LA in like 2 weeks. So there's like a lot of stuff all at one time. It's just like, I'm just like, oh my goodness. And also we are almost at, we're about 930 something thousand views. We're coming up on 1 million views for the channel. 1 million views for the channel, bro. 1 million is look, I don't care who, I'm not Mr. Beast, bro. So 1 million views is crazy, dude.
A lot.
That's crazy. So again, shout out to all the homies. I appreciate you guys. You probably won't see this on the 2 chopped up smaller versions of the videos, but on the long form one, well, I try to keep the 2 initial drops to be like just the conversation of the albums, and then I'll put the whole thing up for the podcast section. But thank you. It's crazy, dude. I'm so excited. So let's see, which album do you want to talk about first?
You pick.
All right, let's go with let's do Bad Religion first because we're going to go in alphabetical order. I like to do it that way. It just makes it a little bit easier. I can't believe I said 1980 earlier. I'm such an idiot. Okay. Let's see.
My brain's mush too.
Bro, I'm telling you. All right. Yeah, okay. So November 23, 1990, we get Bad Religion's Against the Grain. Obviously, it was on Epitaph Records. It's 35 minutes. It's a pretty quick album. It's only is it really?
I think 17 songs.
Okay, I was like, is it really that many songs? I guess it is. 17 songs, 35 minutes. Here's the thing, man. My Bad Religion, like what I like. Okay, so I like Bad Religion. Kind of always have, right? But they've never been one of the bands that I was like tripping out about. I've seen them play a few times. They were actually quite good live. But their really early material is where I kind of like them. And I like Suffer. I like there's a few records they've got that I like. No Control is really, really good. But All Ages was my first like real introduction to them. So all the stuff that's included on All Ages, I really, really like. And I don't think that it has anything to do with the songs on. That's way before Against the Grain, right?
Well, All Ages is a compilation.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying like but all the stuff that came on that was like before Against the Grain.
You know, I think there might be stuff off Generator on it too.
Yeah, let me look that up real quick. So my point isn't any kind of like crap talk. It's just that I don't have a ton of experience with Against the Grain because Bad Religion is like the more intelligent version of NoFX to me, right? And it's got like they use words I don't know the meaning to. I think it's a little pretentious at times, but it's really, really well made too. So it's like they've got a lot of melody, a lot of really great topical stuff that they speak about. So like I appreciate them probably more than I like them, if that makes any sense.
It does. It makes a lot of sense.
And so, in saying all that, Against the Grain was a pretty good record, man. I enjoyed it quite a bit. It's funny too because so it's the 5th album from Bad Religion. Okay, let's see. Oh wow, no promotion at all. It still sold over 100,000 copies. Interesting.
It was highly anticipated from what I saw because the album one did really well. I think it was Suffer maybe that came before this one. No Control.
There's No Control.
Okay, No Control. I think that's one of Bad Religion's more popular records.
Okay. No Control is very popular.
I'm not a huge fan. I mean, it's fun. I'm sorry. Keep going.
No, it's okay. I like No Control. Actually, let's see. 88 was Suffer. 89 was No Control, and then it came into after those 2 records, people probably foaming at the mouth to get a hold of a new record. Those are 2 really fantastic albums. Yeah, at least in my opinion.
I need to go back and visit those records again. My introduction to Bad Religion was Stranger Than Fiction, actually.
Okay. I had that record when it came out.
Which is honestly my favorite record by them that I've heard.
Yeah.
I think front to back, it's pretty fucking incredible. I mean, they had a major label, they got the money from the major label. They had a big, studio budget. They had a couple of singles on the radio at the time. I don't know if you remember that Infected song was on the radio.
So, okay, I live in Houston, man. None of that stuff was on the radio here.
That's crazy. Okay.
Dude, I've never heard a Bad Religion song on the radio. I've never heard a Pennywise song on the radio. I've heard Offspring. I've heard Sublime. I've heard one Rancid song one time.
Green Day, obviously.
And I've heard Green Day. So, like, all the, like, really, really, really major pit label pop stuff I've heard. Anything like Epitaph and Harder to Find, I really haven't heard on the radio.
Well, I mean, I think in California, because LA radio stations kind of controlled what was happening up here too.
Right.
They would play a lot of the punk stuff. That's how we got it. Infected was in rotation for maybe like a summer. I remember that. And that's how I heard about a lot of these bands. Isn't that weird? It's weird to me. TV and the radio, and they like play 1 or 2 songs. Like that's how Rancid. That's how I heard about Rancid too. Let's be honest. Like,
no kidding, really.
Yeah, it was MTV and the radio because they were on heavy rotation. But
that's wild.
Yeah, so Stranger Than Fiction I thought was a great record. I think their best songs are on that record, particularly to me. Maybe I like the like sonic quality of that record a lot too, right?
Yeah,
guitar playing is off the chain.
I will agree with that. The sonic noises you get on you said
Stranger Than Fiction.
Stranger Than Fiction.
Yeah.
Look, man, Stranger Than Fiction is a pretty decent record, but here's the thing.
Good,
Do what?
Production's really good on that record.
Yes, but here's the thing, man. They've got 4 songs on Against the Grain that I would say can probably go head to head with anything on Stranger Than Fiction. And that, in my opinion, would be Modern Man, Turn on the Light, Operation Rescue. But 21st Century Digital Boy is like literally a classic punk song, not just a Bad Religion song.
Well, they remade that song for that album, Stranger Than Fiction.
Oh, they did. Oh, that's right. It's on Stranger Than Fiction, isn't it?
They re-recorded.
Tells you how good that song is, huh?
And it was also.
I forgot that they did that. Hold on. They sure did, didn't they? I want to put those next to each other and listen to them later. Damn, that's crazy. So, look, Against the Grain does fall short on production, in my opinion, a little bit. Yeah. Here's the thing, man. I don't like I can't even really tell you what it is I don't like about Bad Religion because I like a lot of stuff. Like if you give me like, look, there's 20 things that you can say you do or don't like about Bad Religion. I'd say like somewhere between 17 and 18 of them would go in the like column. And there's like 2 or 3 things that I don't really care for. And I can't really put my finger on what it is.
I can tell you what I think, why I don't like it as much as I should, right? I don't want to take anything away from Bad Religion. Obviously, they've done a lot for punk rock. They're an important band, like you would say objectively. The guitar parts are, that band was highly influential on a lot of the Epitaph stuff that you like, right? Yeah. Pennywise were huge fans of that band. You can tell. By the way.
No Effects.
I see less Bad Religion and No Effects, but I see what you're saying. It's a different sound.
Shit, just ask Mike, dude. Mike says it all the time.
I know. I'm just saying they don't sound like them to me though. Bad Religion.
Oh man, that's crazy.
They have that like fast like epitaph. I mean that like fat record drum beat. That Bad
So
do.
They used to sound more like them, but they definitely have a whole bunch of Bad Religion in their music.
Sure.
Now, as they've gotten older, they've both changed enough to where it's way further apart than it used to be. But like, man,
had like a lane, and Bad Religion had a lane, and Bad Religion kind of stayed that lane.
I don't necessarily agree with that, but I don't think it's like this kind of overlap. I think it's like on the pie chart, it's going to look
There's like a Venn diagram.
The Venn diagram is going to look like 40.
Pennywise is closer to Bad Religion than NoFX is, in my opinion.
Probably. I don't think of it like that, but it's probably true.
So with Bad Religion, to me, it's the guitar parts were always the coolest thing to me. Like the way they did, like, solo. And I don't think the guy from Minor Threat was even in the band until '94.
Right.
Brian Baker didn't join until later. And I was under the impression for the longest time that he was on this record and maybe Strange the Picture, but it wasn't. It was the owner of Epitaph Records who played guitar for Bad Religion who left the band.
Oh, Brett Gurwitz?
Yeah, he was a guitar player.
So
Greg Hudson. But it's the lyrics, it's the vocals, and it's so nerdy. It's like I wish he would use less big words and just kind of like be a little cooler, but like they're intellectual. So it's like, it comes, it's just, like, what do you say, entropy?
Oh, we're gonna get
it doesn't really like come up, roll off the tongue, it doesn't like, I don't know.
Well, dude, we're gonna get flamed for this in the comments probably. I don't care either. I just think it's funny because we rarely agree about stuff like this, but I think that's what my issue is too, is that it's like you make me feel stupid, man.
Fucking songs too, right? Like,
well, okay. At the parties, when you go to a party, you got the
when they hit. When they don't, you're like, ah.
Yeah, that's very accurate. Because they got some songs that are so damn good that I'm like, should I really feel this way about it? They're really, really amazing.
But on this record in particular, Against the Grain, I wanted to skip more songs than I wanted to listen to. I
agree with that.
I only like 5 songs on this record.
No, I think I only like about 6. So like,
yeah.
But the ones I really like though. But here's the thing, like you said, when they hit, they hit. But when you're at a party, you have like the drunk dudes hanging out, like arguing and wrestling around and acting stupid. You have the girls that are talking and but over in a corner, you always have this group of people that are having like an incredibly serious, likely boring conversation about a topic that you don't give a shit about because you're trying to have a good time, and they're not drinking. They're not. Now, I'm not saying that Bad Religion didn't drink or do any drugs. We all know the stories about these guys, but
Graffin didn't. I think he was totally sober, actually.
I think so too. But like, there's other members of the band that cannot say that. Anyhow,
right.
But like, they're the guys that are over there in the party, like in the sweater with like maybe like having like a coffee or something, and they're having like a discussion on like stuff, and which is perfectly acceptable, fine and okay. I'm not saying you can't or shouldn't do it. I'm just saying that when I'm at the party, I'm typically trying to get drunk and party with my homies. And that's what I feel like Bad Religion is within punk rock, but it's needed, necessary, and I do want it here. I don't know how to say it because it's going to piss off people, and I'm not trying to piss anybody off, but I'm not going to change my opinion just to make everybody happy either. Like it is what it is.
When you sing a song, right? When you're like singing along to a tune that you like a Rancid song, it has a flow to it. The words kind of like roll off your tongue a little bit more. It's like a cadence. The guy from Bad Religion just sounds like he's trying to cram as many big words as he can into a sentence as possible.
Sometimes.
Other times, it's cool and like it's more like chill. Like there's a song, "Walk Away" on Against. It's the last song, and I really like that song. I heard it on All Ages at first, right?
Okay. They did have stuff on here from All Ages, huh?
They did, yeah.
Okay.
The last songs on the record, but like, it was different. You didn't say a lot of those words, and just to like say the word, you got to think. To me, as a vocalist, you got to think how the word sounds in the context of the music. So it's a holistic piece of work,
Okay, so yeah, they did have quite a bit of stuff off of here. Okay, that explains all the songs that I like off this album too. Actually, all the ones that I like on this album are stuff that's off of All Ages. Man, I'm an idiot, dude. People are gonna be so like rolling their eyes at me and be like, "This fucking poser," because I didn't realize that I was thinking that, but I wasn't sure, and I always I second guess myself too much, and I'm not confident with what I know in my head, even though I know it.
About something at some point in their lives, man. Who cares?
It's what I don't really give a fuck. Whatever. But like. like, I guess here's the thing, dude. I like the album, but I've never been a giant fan of Bad Religion. So, like, I'll go see them live, but I don't own a shirt. I only own, I think, one or two of their records in my house. And that's how I judge, like, how much do I care about this band? Do I have their records? Do I wear a shirt? Would I go see them play? These are all things that, like, so yeah, some of that I would do. I'll go see them play. I don't know that I want to see them. I don't know that I want to wear a Bad Religion shirt. I don't know, like.
Well, you probably wouldn't want to wear a shirt with a cross with a thing going through it, right?
I mean, I've had Bad Religion shirts. It's whatever.
Okay.
Because their thing is more so. I mean, I don't really want to get into this debate, really, but their thing's more so like bad religion, not bad God necessarily. Now, what they believe, that's their own opinion, but I don't think that it's a thing that I think they could have a conversation with me and we could understand each other pretty well, I would think. But, because I mean, here's the thing. If you want to get down to brass tacks about that, I have a lot of questions myself, which is why on Sunday mornings you usually see me at my store and not sitting in a church building somewhere. So,
right.
But, my beliefs are very, very hard for me to understand myself. I don't expect anybody else to understand them, but it's weird, man. It's one of those bands that I really sincerely want to like more than I do. And when I get to an album like this, it's like, that's why. Because it's like you have. So let me pull their discography real quick. So, okay, what albums of theirs have you not heard? You said that, I thought I was surprised by how many that the way you said it, I was like, huh, because I've heard almost all their records. Now, do I love all of them? I'm following them on Spotify. I have a bunch of their stuff liked. So let's see. All their modern stuff I never really got into. Let's see. Age of Unreason, I never even listened to.
I didn't pay any attention to them after like the Great Race, dude.
I think I'm probably in the same boat. Let me double check. I heard New Apps of Hell was really good. Empire Strikes First are records. These are records I'm very familiar with them, but I don't think I listened to them much. Process of Belief. I think I just got to where I didn't care about because the lyrics, man. I really agree with you on that. The lyrics really, really bothered me because I didn't care about them.
Like I think some of what they're talking about is good and important, and the lyrics might be good.
Yeah, I'm not talking about topically. Topically, they're very, right. Very important.
But you're not writing like a fucking like. You're not writing like a college like thesis, dude.
Well, in on the other side of that coin,
roasted in the comments for this shit too. I know.
No, because I'm already gonna fight back on this just because I have a personal opinion that's a little different. Like, if you think about where he's from, what he does, like this is just. Yeah. I bet you if you sat down and talked to him, this is just how he talks. I guarantee you, this isn't any kind of work for him to come up with lyrics like this. Which is why I was saying the thing about the party thing. I think he's an intellectual type, and he'll go to a party and behave like an intellectual type. I'm not. I barely got out of high school. I didn't graduate until I was 21 because I had to go back and get my diploma. Like, I'm a fucking ape. So, like, there's a bunch of stuff I don't even understand half the words the guy uses, which is why I didn't listen to it much. And it's not his fault. It's my fault, actually. So I can hang with that. It's whatever. But
the people that really enjoy Bad Religion and like them, like the fact that he's saying these words. Yeah,
for sure.
So the reason that we might not like them, other people love them. You see what I'm saying? So
it's the same with most bands though. Like Rancid, I love his vocals and his slurry style and his like clashy, rip-off style stuff. Some people fucking hate that. I had a guy tell me the other day, I'd love Rancid if I could get over this guy's vocals, and it blew my mind because that's what I like about Rancid. But like, we all like what we like, man. I've tried really hard to stop worrying about that shit and just let it be what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is.
I do think the album is important, and that for me is enough for me to tip of the cap. You know what I'm saying? Like now, like okay, I'm gonna give it two different grades. I'm gonna go subjectively, it's probably like a 4 out of 10 for me. Like objectively, it's probably double that. It's probably like an 8. This is a very important record. It's got a lot of great songs. And the only reason I'm going to go 4 is because it's got so many songs. And out of all of those, there's only like 5 or 6 that I really, really like.
Yeah.
In all fairness, I only listened to it twice in the last week and a half. I listened to it once, like about 4 days ago. What's today? Today's Thursday, right? Yeah. So Sunday I listened to it once, and then I listened to it once today.
Yeah.
And today when I listened to it, I was driving. So I should have stopped and paid more attention to it. But like, it's really hard for me to get into the words because also, while they're topically a great like Flat Earth Society, I like that song's funny to me, kind of, right? But like, I guess the Grain's a pretty good track. This album's not the worst, man. It's just
those 4 songs are.
I just think that
we named them.
they're so highly ranked amongst most people's like list of importance that like I hold them at a high standard and I have a high bar that they have to jump over. And I'm like, sometimes you don't quite get over that bar. When you've got albums like, dude, the two before this, No Control and Suffer, like, I mean, how do you really follow that up with a record that's as good as either of those two? And so like, I don't even blame them for this. I will say this. I love the cover art. I love it. And Generator I thought was pretty decent, but like Recipe for Hate, I really enjoy quite a bit. Stranger Than Fiction, I think I actually like that album quite a bit now that I'm thinking of it. Because I didn't used to, but I had it as a kid. So it's got like a sort of like a special place for me. Like it's like, oh, it's important. And I used to like it a little bit. And not for that reason as a youngster I had it. So I like it more now. But I don't know, man. I think there's far more to like than to complain about with Bad Religion. The only issue is when do I want to listen to this band? That's the question. So when I'm listening to music, when do I want to put on Bad Religion? And what albums do I pick? Because if I want to listen to them, I either go through and pick out all their hits and put it on, or not hits, but songs I like and make my own playlist.
Yeah.
Or I put on All Ages or Suffer, or actually that's it. I put on their playlist of the songs that I picked out.
Totally.
All Ages or Suffer. I don't go and listen to their albums otherwise. So I think my opinion is going to be kind of a lower opinion based on like you go look at my habits. I can't argue that because that's what I do. So it's not meant to be disrespectful.
For me, it's like I would just say there's an infinite number of artists and bands you can listen to, you know?
Right.
So you pick what you want to hear. Just because you don't choose to listen to something doesn't mean you don't like it, right? It's like I go when I feel like listening to them, I'll go to the album I like.
Right.
Fiction.
Me
I'll
too.
get my fix, right? And then I'll move on from that. But that's all I need. I mean, people can argue, oh, you haven't heard their other shit. Like, what do you fucking know? Like, it doesn't matter to me because I don't.
I agree with that wholeheartedly.
I don't choose to seek this band's material out as much as. I mean, if you like the band, then go deep and listen to it. You know, I like one or two records, and those are the ones I want to listen to. And then other bands that like I enjoy more, I'm gonna go, you know, or like I'm like obsessed with. I'm gonna try to listen to as much of the shit as I can.
Well, it's like this. It's like this,
they can start tomorrow, and I'll fucking want to go see where it was and what it smelled like, you know. So
they're incredibly important.
Yeah,
they've basically fathered a bunch of bands that I love. So for that reason, I respect Bad Religion like to the nth degree.
Yeah.
Now,
agreed.
Yeah, man, it's interesting, man. It's just one of those things. Dude, I want to like them more than I do, I guess. I went to the punk. I will say something that's like pretty cool. It just kind of involves this album. So I was at the Punk Rock Museum, and I'm standing like I don't know, 20 yards from this painting, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, "Huh, that's a cool print." And the guy's like, "Which one?" And I was like, "The Against the Grain print." And I went over, I'm looking at it, and he goes, "Really?" And I was like, "Well, you don't think it's kind of cool?" I was like, "Look, I may not love this record, but it's a pretty important album." And I'm looking at it, and he goes, "No, man, that's not a print. That's the artwork." And I was like, "Wait, what?" Because it's like 4 foot by 4 foot. It's huge, dude. It's a big ass painting, and I just like it's kind of cool to see it, bro. Like when you get there, you're like, "That's fucking crazy, bro." Like my opinions on it don't matter. It's crazy, dude. Like. You don't think I'm gonna go there and like look at the stuff the Damned made and be like, that's fucking wild. Like that's not my favorite band, but I still respect it. Like I don't know, it's just cool.
I appreciate the fuck out of Religion. The guitar playing for me for that band, I think is incredible, over the top. I think that's what gets me the most with that band, or is you know, musicianship.
Well, let me speak on a couple of things that I really like about them, since we spent a bunch of time talking about things maybe we didn't care for as much. But I do feel like I have to be. I don't know, man. I like to be kind of positive if I can. I hate to just shit on stuff, especially things that I actually do care about. Guitar playing is awesome. Their riffs are pretty great almost all the time.
Right.
It's typically the vocals, not even the vocals. It's the lyrics that I have the issue with. Really, if you want to get down to brass tacks, it's the lyrics I have a problem with more than anything. But the production's always fine.
Yeah.
The guitar riffs are pretty great. The drums, I don't remember much about the drums. Their bass playing, I don't really think about it at all. but they have a lot of really great melodies in their songs. And there's a lot of stuff I may not sing along with their songs, but I'll hum along with them all the time because you'll get these hooks and melodies in your head, and you're like, why do I know that? And it's
they're very hippie and they're very melodic. Yeah, and in that way, they're great songwriters.
Right.
The guy can sing. You know, they do like all the harmonies in the background too, like the ahs and all that.
Oh yeah. Well,
and,
dude, look. We were speaking like specifically about subjective opinion thus far. Objectively, I think they're probably up in like the 8, 9 out of 10 range. They're like way up there because they're very good at what they do. Absolutely. Now it's like, hey, do you like key lime pie? Not really, but is key lime pie good? Well, it's awfully fucking popular to not be. So like, you know, that's how I look at it. Totally. People can get all fucking bunched up if they want, and good. Have a good evening. Being all.
I texted you earlier. I feel like the rush of punk. You know,
you did say that, and I didn't really know how to respond to that. I was like, interesting, because I fucking hate
not like a prog rock band, but like they're kind of nerdy and like that's just, you know, that's what it is. You know?
Yeah, and look, dude, this isn't just kind of some kind of shit on Bad Religion thing, man.
No, I like Bad Religion.
That's the thing is I do like them. I think this album is just a little bit hard for me to get through. If there was any other album that we had picked to talk about, like what is their discography saying about 95? And other years. Let's see. Let's look and see what they've got coming outside of that, because I think that let's see. There's probably a fair amount of albums that we could talk about that we're going to have a far higher opinion on. Far better. What's the word? I guess higher, better opinion on than this one.
Like Stranger Than Fiction, I'd like pretty much the entire album.
I agree with that. There's a few albums that they've got that I really enjoy. Come on, Wikipedia. Okay, here we go. Discography. Okay, so we got 96. They don't have one. 2000. They got the New America. I don't know that I've ever even listened to that. So we may have to talk about that one later and dive into that, because I want to actually get like, how do I feel about some of these other records? They all have odd years, so we'll have to do them later on, I guess. But it's easier for me to pick albums.
They did a Christmas record too.
How weird is that, bro?
I don't know, it's pretty terrible. It's pretty fucking
bad. I've never heard it, so I don't know, but I would imagine it.
I don't like Christmas music to begin with. And then on top of that, you got Bad Religion. I'm like, why? I have no fucking clue.
But my favorite Christmas album was Amy Grant. You ever listen to that one?
Oh, dude, I haven't heard that name in a minute.
No, I was definitely kidding, but
Amy Grant, she's back in the day.
Yeah, I just happened to see that recently in a record bin that I bought up at collection. It was out in the trash. But yeah, man, Bad Religion, dude. I think objectively, I'll give them like an 8.4. Subjectively, I'm gonna go with a 5. I'm gonna go right in the middle. Like it's not the worst thing.
I'm saluting Bad Religion, you know? Like,
yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like objectively, I'm gonna go 8.4. Subjectively, I'm gonna go 5, right in the middle. So it's like not bad, but I don't love it. It's just middle of the road for me. But it's got some good songs. It's worth listening to. I say if you're gonna go and do like a Bad Religion deep dive, you kind of have to hit Against the Grain. Like it's got enough things on there that you need to know about to where you should go listen to it. But I'll tell you where I really messed up was I listened to this after I listened to Poison Idea. And it's kind of hard to follow that.
They're completely polar opposite records.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and wrap this up real quick, and we'll get to the other record here in a second, because I do have some stuff to say about this album. And
you know, I'm gonna listen to more of this band though. I'm gonna go back tomorrow and listen to a couple of other albums.
I think we both should. I think we should come to the table in a few weeks, maybe with like a 10 songs that we jam off of Bad Religion's discography.
Because I might eat my words, you know, tomorrow.
I think that
I'll be like, wow, like I was really shitting on the vocals and the lyrics, but this album fucking slaps in that I could change my mind. So
that on Against the Grain?
No,
okay, a different album.
Against the Grain, I'm just like, I like 4 songs on the record, honestly.
I think if we came up with a top 10 Bad Religion songs list, it would be fun, because they're a band that warrants the you know, fandom and respect that they get. So
absolutely,
again, all respect due to Bad Religion. They're legends in the game, dude, and I don't have anything but respect for them. And unfortunately, if you don't just fucking get down on your knees and gargle some balls, people think that you absolutely hate something. Just because I don't say that I love it doesn't mean that I say that I actively dislike something. So
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta fucking like
I
fucking
know.
stop, bro. Anyways, all right. That wasn't weird at all.
I like the analogy. It was good.
Thank you, man. I try hard. Hard like an erect
You
I'll
succeed.
dysfunction commercial. What? Let's see here.
Poison idea, right?
Never. Okay.
Never poison idea.
All right. I don't know what month or day, but somewhere in 1990, Poison Idea dropped "Feel the Darkness." Let's see. It says it was a joint release between Vinyl Solution and the band's own American Leather Records. That's kind of cool that they did like a co-release with another label.
Yeah.
That's how things are done a lot now. So, but this album came out. It was 14 songs, I think, maybe 13 on LP, 14 on CD, and it was somewhere around 40 minutes in length. Okay, so here's the deal, man. I've always liked Poison Idea, but I've liked the idea of Poison Idea and the songs that I've heard, but I don't know that I've ever really sat down and given like entire albums a listen.
Yeah.
Because they did a lot of EP work, they were on some comps, but they were always one of those bands that like when I heard them, I wasn't in the mood for that kind of music, if that makes any sense. And so, like, I would listen to it, like, I like it, but not right now, man. And I'd go on to like something more melodic or something more skate punky or maybe it's reggae or something or fucking who knows what, right?
Right.
And when I was looking through the list of albums a week ago or whatever, I was like, man, what have I not really gotten into that I want to? And I was like, dude, that Poison Idea record came out in 1990. Let's check that out. So 35 years ago, we get this album that I feel like I shortchanged myself. Dude, I feel like I should have listened to this album 1,000 times by now, dude. Like, you were gushing over it earlier, and I was having to make myself not talk about it so we could have talking points on the video. Well, because I almost agreed with you on everything, dude. Like, it's incredible. Okay, sorry.
You're good.
Let me pull up some notes that I wrote down. After this, I'm doing a deep cuts episode. I did Thin Lizzy, 99 Bottles, Short Leash, and Lagwagon's like later material. Oh, it's going to be a video. I'll tell you what. Anyways, not older, more modern. Excuse me. This is what I wrote down when I was listening to Poison Idea at like I was in like a parking lot and I was getting ready to go inside a grocery store, and I listened to probably 7 songs before I got out of my car. You ever do that?
All the time.
Yeah. So I was sitting there and I wrote down, if you take the melodic nature of Bad Religion, the politics of Dead Kennedy, the guitar work and drums of early thrash bands, a dash of early agnostic front style hardcore, and a spoonful of UK 82, you mix it all together, you get this fucking Poison Idea record. It's wild. They literally have every style of punk and hardcore within a single album. What the fuck? That's what I wrote down. And I stand behind that, dude. I listened to it like 4 times, dude. It's so good. Like, I'm pretty flabbergasted at how much I like it, because I honestly thought I don't know why people always put them in the same category as like Negative Approach, because they don't sound anything like Negative Approach to me.
Well, you know, it's like American hardcore. It's just like a later wave of it, you know. I think Poison Idea has been around since 1980.
They've been around a long ass time.
Well, they've been through. In fact, you know, in the movie I watched with them, they've been through a ridiculous number of lineup changes, and at some point, the vocalist Jerry Lang is like standing there with a pointer thing, and he's the vocalist of the band.
Yeah.
And you know, there's like dates. It's like 1980, then 1990, then 2000, and then 2010. He's like, somewhere around here, we had to stop making music for drugs, so we got clean.
Wow.
Like, that band was probably one of the most like violent, and not because they were like mean guys, but because they were just like nihilistic and did not give a fuck. Like, he would like blow fire and like throw M80s out on stage and stuff like that.
Well, I'm gonna have to do like
they have a reputation for being one of the heaviest hardcore bands.
So I'm gonna have to do like a deep dive on this band for a number of reasons, right? When I was first getting into hardcore, like if you ever get to watch the Top Texas Bands video I just dropped, in that video I talk about a band called Pride Kills. I was very, very good friends with those guys, and whenever I got into their music, a lot of what they were telling me was like, I was like, so who do you listen to? What are you liking? And he's like, dude, you ever Poison Idea? That's where I first heard them, was like in 2003, maybe. It was probably 2003 when I first heard Poison Idea. And like, so I know I liked them. I just never gave them like a really solid deep dive listen.
Yeah.
I have at least one of their albums in my collection. I've listened to it, but I haven't sat down and been like, all right, I'm going to listen to this for the purpose of like reviewing it, because I listen to music different when I do that. I pay way more attention when I'm doing this. So like, man, it was incredible. Like, there's a couple of things that you said I disagree with, but like overall, the sentiment that you had with this record is pretty spot on. Like, the fucking guitar work in this record was crazy. Now, I will say this. I don't even consider this really like a hardcore record. Like, to me, it's a crossover record, which is technically hardcore still. Like, I get it. But if I was going to classify this as like, where do I rank this amongst like my favorite or the best hardcore records? It just doesn't have the sonic sounds that I want to hear when I'm looking for a hardcore record. Now, that doesn't mean that it's not a hardcore record. I know I just said it's a crossover, but that kind of still means hardcore. But like, I feel like this pairs more with DRI than it does like Minor Threat. And like,
it's hardcore punk. I mean, I would call it hardcore punk.
Oh, it's definitely like more metal than it is punk to me. But
it's a punk record.
Sure, this is what we're talking about, though. But I don't agree with that. I think it's more of a metal record than it is a punk record. But it's like it's a crossover record. That's my whole point, is that it's got so much metal in it. But I don't like metal, right? But when I want some metal, I will just take this. Dude, there's tons of metal in this record, bro.
I think, yeah, but like the riffing is punk.
Some of it's metal. Dude, bro, there's so much thrash in this album. It's unreal, dude. I heard fucking Exodus, early Metallica, all throughout.
There's a lot of thrash influences. Yeah, I think what I hear here on this record is like, I don't know.
Punk doesn't typically have a bunch of double bass, dude. It's all over this record, bro.
There's a lot of double bass on the record. You're right. Black Flag is an obvious influence on this band. I hear
for sure. And hey, look, I want to be really clear about anybody who's watching this getting all angry right now. I love this record, bro. It's not shit talking. This is awesome. My whole point is that when I want some metal, I think I'm just going to go to this kind of record instead, because I'd rather listen to this anyways. Yeah. It gives me my punk a little bit, and then I get all the stuff I wanted out of a metal record.
What I love the most about this band in general, not just this record, is like, it's just like seething with like visceral fucking hate, and you can just like hear it oozing out of the speakers. Like, his voice is like so sardonic and anguished, and it's like they're not trying hard, it's just coming out. So these other bands that came along the way, yeah, sure, there's been a lot of great hardcore that's happened, but these guys are the real deal. This is like the cream of the fucking crop, This is like the sound that I think other bands aspire to that quite often fall short,
Yeah, I would agree with that.
There's like an authenticity to their music, and there's an immediacy to it that it just fires you up. It just gets you angry from the jump. It makes you want to fucking light something on fire, fuck some shit up, quit your job, skateboard, whatever. Take some action.
It does make you feel kind of like that. I will say this, though. I want to know. Actually, I could just look that up right now. So the fucking production on this record is crazy, dude. 1990, like super underground, like punk rock shit.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to call it. You call it whatever you want. Metal, punk, whatever. Crossover, right? Okay, hard, whatever you want to call it. It's underground music, though. And for this to sound this good is wild, dude. Like, it is crazy how good this sounds. And I listened to it on Spotify. I am going to buy a copy of this on CD, and I'm going to listen to it on my new CD player with my fucking badass speakers. I'm gonna turn it up really fucking loud.
Those nice headphones too. So I mean that.
I got quality equipment. So I'm going to get this on CD, though. I want to have it on a good. I hope it's a good quality CD. I guess it could be shitty, but if I don't like it on CD, I'll just buy it on vinyl. But I prefer it on CD right now. But dude, what the shit? This is crazy good, man. I really, really, really. I don't even care that I just got into this stuff, man. I've always liked them, but I don't care that I'm just now getting to where I'm liking them this much, because this is fun for me, man. I'm having a blast. I rarely get into a band like this. The Vibrators did it to me. The second Clash album made me feel like this. This album's making me feel like this. I feel like people give me shit all the time for only liking 90s stuff. I don't even argue that. I know that's what I like, right? So
Yeah.
I'm like breaking out of my comfort zone and out of my bubble, and it's fucking awesome. I'm having a hell of a lot of fun. Even listening to that do you hear my dog snort just now?
I didn't hear that. No. Well, got a chunky snore too.
Bro. So loud. Oh my goodness. Anyway, sorry. It was so loud it just completely cut off my sentence. But like, you know, even that Bad Religion record, like I'm having fun listening to it because I really honestly I thought I was gonna really, really like it. That's why I picked it. I was like, you know what, dude, I haven't heard Bad Religion in a while.
Yeah.
That's a good one to pick. And I picked it thinking I should have flip-flopped them. Had I listened to the Bad Religion record first, I think I would have had a lot more positive stuff to say about it.
Right.
But I didn't. I listened to it after I listened to this, and this one was so good that it blew me away.
It's hard to follow it up, you know. It's like
It really is.
The Poison Idea record is just so much more. I don't know. I don't want to use the word. You know.
Well, they're very different, dude. Lyrically, tonally,
it's a different record. So it's like a different style of music, but it's like just the energy, the way it's captured, the vocal styles, just the entire production is so different.
Well, I mean, look, dude. Honestly, you really can't get more yin and yang than Bad Religion and Poison Idea. Like they have a couple of sonic similarities, like I said when I was describing them earlier. That's where it stops, bro. After that, it is very different music. So, you know, not that you can't like or even love both of them. That's not what I'm saying, but they're very different.
Yeah,
I think I'm going to spend some time with this record. I think I'm going to probably listen to it quite a bit.
This album's ridiculous. There's just like
I'm going to go buy a copy right now while we're talking.
Deep Sleep is a great song. Just to Get Away, actually, I heard that song for the first time on an Epitaph comp. Punk rock.
That's cool.
I don't know. They weren't even on Epitaph, but for some reason that song was on that comp.
Dude, they used to do that back in the day. See, I have the Pick Your King EP I've heard a million times, but I don't know that I've listened to it the way I should because I don't remember it putting me up. I don't remember like it flooring me like this record did.
They have so much material. They're
they do.
One album I would suggest checking out by them is War All the Time. That came out like 1987.
You want to see something hilarious or hear something hilarious?
Record.
I went to Discogs to go buy a copy of this right now, and when I clicked on it, it's already on my watch list. When did that even happen? That tells me a lot right there that at some point I heard this and was like, oh, I need to grab that. And I put it on my watch list and I just never pulled the trigger on buying it.
Yeah, this is like an essential record for all hardcore punk lovers collections.
Dude, what if I go, hold on, let me check my collection, make sure I don't have it already. What the fuck? Bro, that shit wouldn't even surprise me.
Go to the store and sell it, you know?
No, I've got Latest Will and Testament. I need to throw this on later tonight too.
Oh, yeah, that's later.
Yeah, this is much more modern. Check this out though; it's cool as shit looking.
Yeah. Oh yeah, with the clear CD.
Yeah.
Dope.
I love stuff like that. I have not to like change subjects, but my favorite hardcore record I actually have. Hold on, I'll show you. It's what is your favorite hardcore record?
My favorite hardcore record? That's hard to I don't know. I'd have to think about that.
Really?
Yeah. I like music for different reasons. Right? So it's hard for me to have a favorite anything.
That's weird to me.
Why is that weird?
Because I don't think like that. I'm not saying you're wrong.
I've got like favorite albums, you know, for sure. But like hardcore records, it's really difficult for me to just think of that right now. But
sorry, 1 second.
You're good.
Damn it, where the fuck is it?
I'm kind of curious to see like what you think hardcore actually is in terms of, you know, like if you're calling this a crossover record, I want to know what you think is a hardcore record, I guess.
My favorite hardcore record is Lowest of the Low.
Lowest of the Low. Oh, Terror?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've got this badass copy of it somewhere around here. It's in here somewhere. It's this cool ass like promo copy, but it looks like that. It's got the plastic around it. That Scott Vogel gave me when it first came out. He like gave it to me at a show in Houston. He's super, super cool, man. I like Scott Vogel a lot. Uh, but yeah, Terror, Lowest of the Low is my favorite hardcore record. Like when you start adding too much metal to hardcore, I stop liking it as much because I really just don't care for metal much. But
And isn't this EP that you like, the Los of Low? Isn't it pretty metallic though?
I don't think so.
Hmm.
I don't think that they got metallic until after One for the Underdogs. Really, they were heavy. That record is fast and punk as fuck, dude. It's
Oh,
so
is it?
fucking.
Okay.
It's so fast, bro. It's so fast. It's like 9 or 10 songs. It might be like 15, 20 minutes, bro. It's so fast. I love it. And like, I remember going to those shows back then too. And I associated a lot of my early hardcore stuff with that album because that's when I really got into hardcore. It's like 2003, 2004. Uh, and I always was more into the faster punk style stuff. The beatdown stuff, like I tried to like it a lot, but it just really wasn't for me, man. Those guys didn't have the same like stuff going on. Like they were cool. Like I have a lot of friends from that crew, that scene, but like,
Not my thing.
yeah, me either, really. So like, and then it just gets more and more metallic, and I'm just not into metal. I don't even like think there's anything wrong with metal. It's just not for me. I don't care for it.
There's this really cooler newer band from New York, and they kind of do a good classic metallic crossover punk.
Agnostic Front?
No, Mind Force.
I think I've heard Mind Force. I like Mind Force.
Like upstate New York.
Yeah.
They have a
They're
very I don't know, it's cool. Like the way they do it to me is cool because it's not metal. Like the vocals are very like hardcore, kind of sounding like old school New York hardcore. But they have the whole like
Slayer stuff.
Yeah, but then they go into like the faster like
they're okay. I don't like. Yeah, I just lean so much more into the punk rock side of hardcore, but it's okay, man. Like I like that bands like Knock Loose exist because kids love that shit. They go out there, and I want kids to go to shows and be in bands and make zines and print shirts and do vinyl. So if that's what needs to happen for them to do that, good. Keep on doing it, man. Scowl needs to exist. Knock Loose needs to exist, and I don't have to like everything.
Yeah, right. No, I completely agree with you. The kids from
I'm getting more okay with like being like a little bit more of like an elder statesman. Like I'm understanding like the way the shit works better now, and I don't have as many things bother me as I used to. I didn't like get bothered by it, but I used to be like, Knock Loose is just metal, which I still believe, but I just don't care anymore. Like, don't give a shit.
Yeah. These like spaces, like all these punk shows are at, hardcore shows are at, they're all run by kids. DIY stuff is all.
Isn't that wild? It's because we're old now.
Yeah, that's because we're the old heads, and that's just how it goes. So we get invited to play these shows, and it's put on by kids, and they're super efficient. Like they know how to get it done. They can put together a bill. They can find a venue. They can get the gear, and they can set up the merch. They're like super resourceful, and I give it up to them for that. But
yeah, but we were too. That's the thing is that
yeah,
we were too.
They just picked up the torch, and started going with it. But yeah, this record's dope as fuck, man.
What are your favorite tracks off this album?
Wow. Okay. Favorite tracks off of this record. Poison Idea.
Here, I'll go first because I got a few.
Okay.
Plastic Bomb, Gone for Good, Taken by Surprise. The Badge was pretty good. Painkiller is really good. The title track's pretty good. It's overall it's a fantastic record though. So like I would say like the Plastic Bomb, Gone for Good, and Taken by Surprise were the three that I marked down and was like, make sure you bring these up. Like, so those are the ones I think are probably my favorite. By what margin? Not a pretty slim one because I like the whole record. So
right, the whole thing is really good. Actually, Pantera covered one of these songs for the Crow soundtrack.
That's crazy.
Did you know that?
No, like the recent Crow?
No, like the old one from like the 90s.
Oh, really?
They covered a Poison Idea song for the Crow soundtrack.
What?
Yeah.
That's so weird. You think Poison Idea is like cool? That's awesome. Or are they like, ugh?
In the documentary, they thought it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jerry's like, hey, we fucking got on the Crow soundtrack. I mean, it's like an accolade for us, I guess.
That's pretty wild.
Grand,
I mean, I would never turn that away because I want more people to hear my music. I wouldn't care. Like, yeah, I mean, the way I look at things is pretty strange. I understand that. But I'd have been like, what's happening? Oh, Pantera's covering one of my songs? Cool. As long as he does it word for word and doesn't throw any weird shit in there, I'm good. Like,
yeah, pretty sure. for word, but just in their style, right? Pantera style.
I mean, look, dude, I hate that I can't be a big Pantera fan, but it is what it is.
I think Pantera was one of those bands when I was younger with like all the stoner skater kids, like, you know, like you got into some of it. I liked Far Beyond Driven and 101 Proof. I had that on tape. That was the live record.
Oh yeah. Bro, look, man, I used to have Far Beyond Driven, I used to have Great Southern Trendkill, and I used to have Cowboys from Hell. And I'm from Texas, bro. Like there's kind of like a
Texas.
Do what?
They're fucking huge in Texas, obviously.
Oh, bro, they're like they may as well be fucking yeah, they are the metal band if you're in Texas. Like nobody gives a shit about any other band besides Pantera down here. It's weird. Or that's the way it used to be. I don't know what it is now. I don't know. They met like Ronnie Racky or something now. I don't fucking know. But
it's funny.
It's weird, dude. Like, yeah, that band. But like my brother went on tour as like security for those guys, so I have like a weird connection to them. So like when Dimebag got killed, it really fucked me up. Yeah. Like I was really depressed. But Phil's always been a fuck up. I know people that know him, and like, I don't think that he's necessarily a bad guy, but he is definitely an edgelord. And it's like, well, I don't like that either. So, you know, he's just kind of like this country bro type guy. Those guys tend to have ideas, opinions, and shit that I don't really align with. So
yeah, he said some shit, but you know, they had some riffs, they had some songs.
They had some hard ass riffs, bro. I used to definitely. Hey, look, dude. Back in the day, like in like early 2000s,
yeah,
all Texas hardcore bands would cover like Pantera riffs. Like they wouldn't do the whole song necessarily, but you'd be like, you'd get out there and they would like open with like a Pantera riff. Motherfuckers would go ape shit, dude. It was awesome, bro. That band Pride Kills used to open up with DMX. It was wild because they would sing
for DMX,
huh?
Like the rapper DMX.
Yeah.
What do you mean open up with like what do they do?
Like they would cover a DMX song.
That's fucking hilarious.
I just love when I bring us whole crew. And I was like, what is happening right now? People lost their fucking minds to that shit, dude. I saw a lot of people run out the door with bloody noses and like, like
fucking hilarious.
Man, dude, bro. I don't like, yeah, man, whatever. This shit fucking album makes me want to go listen to more hardcore. That's what it does.
I like pretty much every song on this record. So
I mean, I like all the songs, but like the 3 or 4 that I really like are the ones I mentioned.
Deep Sleep, Just to Get Away, Gone for Good, Taken by Surprise, Welcome to Krell.
Yeah, dude, Gone for Good and Taken by Surprise. We agree on those. Dude, the first song is awesome. The vocals he does in that song, and it's very unique to that song. It's weird. It's like this weird, like haunting, like almost like what, like medieval haunting melodic weird sound. I don't understand it. It's a very Manowar-esque, but it's like plopped in the middle of this fucking opening track of a hardcore.
Oh yeah, whoa.
Yeah, it's a weird melody though. Like it's not your typical like whoa. It's like oh.
We're influenced by a lot of like the Scandinavian crust stuff from Sweden and Norway and stuff like that. You know,
that's crazy, bro.
I hear it and all up in their music. D-beat. It's pretty much American D-beat to me.
It's got a lot of that in there for sure.
You know, it's crusty fucking D-beat style stuff.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and just say that I give this record a straight up 9.5, dude. Like it, very little room for improvement. Very little room for improvement.
There's a couple of things on this record. Like there's a blues song on here that just comes out of nowhere.
Well, like I said, very little, but there is room for improvement.
I think that's just them fucking with us. You know, Poison Idea could write a banger of a record front to back if they wanted to. They've proven that with their other material. If you go back and listen to their stuff from the 80s.
Well, there's like 2 songs off this record that I didn't really love, and I can't even tell you what the titles of them are because I didn't pay that much attention. But I remember being like, take it or leave it. That one you're talking about is one I was like, what is this? But dude, you ever had that? That is weird though, when you're like really balls deep in an album and then they throw like a curveball and you're like, wait, what happened?
Yeah.
I picked up my phone and was like, what am I listening to? Oh, it's still Poison Idea.
Yeah. This is a band I'd love to see live. On it. I don't, but they're
maybe 20 years ago, but not now.
They don't exist anymore. Yeah, it's a shame. Like 2 of the members are dead, and I think the singer got sober, and like they were all junkies.
A lot of those old hardcore band guys, like I don't want to throw shade, but I'm gonna anyways. The singer for Verbal Abuse, man, my friend played in that band for a while,
Yeah, they
And
live here now in the Bay Area. They practice where I practice.
well, that guy's well, look, from my understanding, he did some real shitty stuff. So I'll put it like that. Um, but my point was that a lot of those old hardcore guys that were into this kind of hardcore, because there's a difference between this and like Madball. Like it just isn't the same kind of music.
Oh, yeah,
Like
it's different.
H2O and fucking those kind of bands, they don't sound like this, and they're still hardcore bands.
Yeah,
But yeah, hardcore is just like punk. There's a lot of it, a lot of different kinds.
but yeah, the guys in this band, Poison Idea, like from what I saw in the documentary, like they would handle shit. Like no one fucked with them. They would fight and they'd fucking
yeah. I've heard a little bit of stuff like that, but I'm not surprised. I mean, listen to the songs, dude. Like those guys are scared of you. Like, what are we talking about? Like,
yeah, I know exactly.
right.
But it's just like the like stories I heard. I'm just like, you guys are fucking gnarly, like skinheads and just spitting in their faces, and the guy throwing M80s off the stage and blowing up the sound guy, and
that's crazy.
One of their friends like lost a finger because he threw an M80 out, and then one time he tried to like there's a picture of Poison Idea, like a famous picture of him like blowing fire out of his mouth. Have you seen this? So he's at a show, and I guess he's doing like party tricks at the show because his whole thing was like he's like a showman,
Yeah.
He would like blow fucking like fire out of his mouth and shit like that into the crowd, like he was a fucking circus act. And like one time he put gasoline in his mouth, and I think his like gums receded and blew up in his face, and like he almost. So these guys were fucking idiots, They're just like they didn't give a fuck. They just were
that's crazy.
Fucking fat slobs ever.
Dude, I love it, man. This was a really good time listening to this album.
Yeah. I mean, this one. You asked me like my favorite hardcore record. This would probably rank if among them. If there was 3 or 5, I'm gonna put this on that list.
This is definitely like I've only heard it probably 3 or 4 times now in its entirety, so I can't say that it would be that high on my list. But I wouldn't be at all shocked if like later down the road I was like, okay, it's made it to my list because it's good enough to where I know that it would be a top record, like regardless. Like I know it would be because it's just good, man. It's a really, really good record. So let's see.
Yeah. Just the name of their songs. I mean, their albums. Get Loaded and Fuck.
That's crazy.
This is one of their album titles. And then they have one called Ian McKay. Have you seen that album cover?
No.
So they got an album called Ian McKay, and it's like some guy bending over and opening up his asshole, his butthole, on the album cover. Like these guys were fucking hilarious, dude. Like,
so what's their beef with? Yeah, wow.
Yeah, you see that album cover?
That's a hairy butthole. Wow.
It's like they don't make them like they used to, That's a punk band,
dude. That's gnarly, bro. Straight ball sack and everything. That's crazy.
They didn't give a fuck.
They're like, hey man, can you show us your butthole and balls? The guy's like, no problem. What do I get out of it? They're like, nothing. He's like, sure, okay.
Album cover.
Yeah, right. Oh my goodness, that's wild.
Yeah,
dude. Poor Ian McKay. What did he do? Well, brought us Fugazi. Thanks for that shit.
Yeah.
So, all right.
That's all I got to say about Poison Idea.
Yeah, dude, they're rad. That's all I got to say about it too. So I'm gonna call this finished. And then a couple of things before we go. I'm gonna figure out a couple of albums for us to do next time. I already have one in mind. So okay, on this top 10 Texas bands list that I did, I mentioned the Dicks, right? And so some guys like, I was very respectful when I talked about them. And then this guy's like, Gary Floyd was an extremely talented and powerful vocalist, but just wasn't your cup of tea. His other band, Sister Double Happiness, really showcased his voice even more. I fucking hate when people come to me with shit like that when it's like, dude, I didn't say anything rude or wrong. So then did I say otherwise? Although extremely talented and powerful vocalist is a very subjective statement, but I don't think I said anything wrong or rude. I mean, one could also say he wasn't a good vocalist at all, but you like what you like. And I was like, that's not what I said though, was it? Like, I'm so tired of people acting like I said something rude when I didn't.
Right.
I'm just gonna start saying rude shit, man. Look, stop getting all offended by me saying that his vocals weren't my thing and pointing out that I said exactly what I did say. Like, fucking soft ass people, bro.
I don't know why they. Yeah, I don't understand it. I really couldn't tell you why people act this way.
Because people are really defensive about things that they love, and I understand that, but like, good grief, dude, like, chill, bro, chill.
Yeah. I think it's more of like an approach thing, right? Like when everyone started coming down on you about like the Husker Du stuff, I'm like, like there's a way to approach this conversation that doesn't, Did I appreciate everyone coming to my rescue about Husker Du? Of course, but did they need to be like, hey man, you're not punk, and I'm telling everyone.
It was really strange. I was just like, all right, whatever, man.
Dude, like that's not fucking.
People were really weird about that stuff too.
Yeah.
Let's see. I've got an idea for.
What to talk about?
You like J Church, don't you?
I do. I love that band. They're great.
Okay, let's do our next one on lower class brats. Rather be hated than ignored. And J Church, One Mississippi. They both come out 25 years ago.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Let's do it. Let's do those albums. I'm down with that.
Hell yeah, son. Let's see here. I gotta figure out where I put my notes for Rob's podcast next because I can't find them. I do this shit all the time where I can't find my my notes that I had. Let's see. I'm fixing to start working on a Rancid 2000 video after I finally finish that Texas one.
Yeah.
My next big video is gonna be Rancid 2000. After that, I'm gonna do And Out Come the Wolves, and then after that, I'm doing Last Word Spoken. All three should be pretty good videos, I would think. I hope. I also have some deep cut stuff that I'm working on. Let's see. There's a bunch of good stuff that I've been getting because of the stream. I've been having a lot of fun on there. Let's see. Where's it at? All right, let's wrap up, and then I'll stay on here for just a minute. Nitty, you got a second?
Yeah, I do got a second. I'm sorry.
All right, cool. No worries. I just don't want to bore everybody. All right, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us for this wonderful hour of punk rock music. I hope I didn't offend you too bad. I didn't really give a shit, actually. If I offended you, let me know in the comments. If I didn't, cool. Either way, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, buy a shirt, check out Dead and Buried Inc. If you need merch for your band, all that stuff. So, yeah, have a great day. We'll see you on the next Punk Rock Review podcast. Peace.